Scott just made the point. Jeff Jefferson used to be a lot more secure. Not just.
In the past few weeks, America has witnessed high-profile acts of bravery that would leave even the founders of this nation, even America's heroic defenders, slack-jawed with wonder. Steel yourself now for two profiles in courage: Sam Smith and Bruce Jenner. I'm PJTV Scott Ott, joined now by the bold Stephen Green and the daring Bill Whittle. Men, Sam Smith, though a Brit, has set an example for our nation's youth when he took home 4 Grammy Awards this week. His hit ballad Stay With Me was named Song of the Year. In it, his falsetto voice pleads with a one-night stand partner that he needs love because he's, quote, just a man. And he begs his fleeting companion to hold his hand and linger for a while. Sam sings, "This ain't love, it's clear to see, but darling, stay with me." Now, of course, I was stirred by the depth of his noble and heroic passion, and so I sought to learn more about this great role model. Little did I know, the song was addressed not to a sleazy woman, as I had assumed, but to another sleazy man like Sam. And Sam Smith boldly wants the world to know it.
Yeah, so I came out at a very, very young age, and then I kind of felt like I just had to mention it before I released my record, just so people knew that the record was who it was about. And I don't know, it felt like a brave thing to do as well. I wanted to do it before.
Yeah.
Because people would have thought, if I did it afterwards, people probably would have thought I was lying just to sell records, which wasn't the case.
So at the risk of his own record sales, he tells the world that these are songs of homosexual longing, and even so, he won several Grammy Awards. By the way, he's not just bold, but he's smart too. Sam Smith told the Daily Beast, "I've tried to be clever with this album, because it's also important to me that my music reaches everybody. I've made my music so that it could be about anything and everybody, whether it's a guy, a female, or a goat. And everybody can relate to that." In fact, here's Sam at the Grammy ceremony singing his homosexual cuddle anthem as a duet with the lovely Mary J. Blige.
Stay, 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 stay.
Well, of course, he's singing it to a woman because, I suppose, goats don't sing very well. Bill Whittle, the official Stay With Me music video has been seen more than 232 million times on YouTube. I'd like you to talk about the courage it took for Sam Smith to tell us up front that he was singing about same-sex yearnings, and the statement of courage that the music industry made in showering him with awards.
Well, first of all, let me just say this. I know that, like both of you guys, when I saw the clip of him on the Ellen show revealing that he was gay, I fell out of my chair. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. If he hadn't come out and told us that he was gay, I just simply, I was speechless with shock and surprise. I think this is kind of the thing that we're getting at here, right? Is, you know, the courage of coming out gay in 2015. Seriously, I don't have anything particularly against this guy. In fact, I don't have anything against him at all. I don't care. You want to sing a song about wanting a little human connection to unnamed humanoid form number 329 who's lying in the background of my video, then that's fine. That's swell. You can do whatever you want to. It's a free country, and I don't begrudge him any of that. And you know, I started working in the theater when I was 15. I've been surrounded by gay people my whole life. None of this stuff matters to me. What does bother me is this idea of this kind of thing being like an act of courage on a par with Kyle Smith or something like this. You know, the courage it took for him to come out in 2015 with his earrings and his pompadour and to reveal to the world, who, again, the collective gasp that rang the planet like a bell when this guy admitted he's gay. I mean, seriously, can we just please get over ourselves on this issue, honestly? If you really want to talk about courage today in 2015, if you want to talk about coming out as an act of courage, one of the people you might want to talk to about this would be a person I admire enormously, and not just because he wore orange and blue, but you just asked Tim Tebow about what it takes to have the courage to come out in 2012 or 11 or whatever as a conservative Christian, and look what the world did to him. Look what the sportscasters did to him. Look at what was said about Tim Tebow versus what was said about the guy whose name escapes me, who was the first gay NFL player.
Michael Sams.
Thank you. You know, one of them got a call from the president for his courage, his incredible courage in coming out, and got on all the talk shows, and everybody fell down and bowed down before him because of his incredible courage. Tim Tebow comes out and says he believes in God and Jesus is his Savior, and he's vilified and filleted and is a laughing stock of jokes for years and years and years and years and years. This is a guy who was doing, you know, this is Tim Tebow, just as an example, is a guy who could have lived, just given his occupation, his looks and his position, could have lived a life in the pit of the flesh that would have made pretty much anybody envious. He decides to spend his summer in the Philippines, you know, building houses for poor Filipino people. So Tim Tebow, just as an example, was living the kind of life that these liberals love to claim that there's so much, you know, in favor for. They got a bumper sticker on their car about it. Tim Tebow's year after year after year doing missionary work in the Philippines, and he's vilified and demonized. And this kind of thing is praised. It just, you know, I don't have anything against the guy being gay, but really an act of courage, I don't think so.
Well, now some of you may remember Bruce Jenner from a 1970s Wheaties box. He was an Olympic gold medal decathlete. But Nicholas Kristof of the New York Times says Jenner's alleged impending announcement that he's becoming a woman is much more courageous than training and competing for Olympic gold. Kristof says this in his column: "All I know is that Jenner seems to be preparing for a bold public mission involving something intensely personal in a way that should open minds and hearts. So in my book, Bruce Jenner is now a gold medalist again. Come on, Wheaties, it's time to put Jenner back on the box." Now, Stephen Green, how eager are you to pour your boys some Wheaties from a box featuring a lovely feminine picture of Bruce Jenner, and then have that talk about real courage?
You know, I don't actually care about that much. I'll get to Bruce Jenner in a sec. First, I want to talk about the song. You know, about 15 years ago, George Michael recorded just a wonderful album called Songs from the Last Century, which were these kind of a smoky jazz club covers of favorite songs of his from the 20th century. And he had a recording on there of My Baby Just Cares For Me, which is a beautiful song. It's a beautiful performance. Of course, George Michael being gay, he switched some of the
George Michael is gay?
I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Anyway, he switched some of the words around in the lyric to let you know that his baby is actually a boy. And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't change the fact that it's a great performance of a great song. This song we just heard has a banal lyric with absolutely nothing, no great sentiment to express. The singer's phrasing is uninspired at the very least, and the music is just pedantic and dull. It's not that he's gay, it's that it's a bad song. I can't believe that is what wins a Grammy these days. Anyway, that aside, you know, Bruce Jenner, this isn't necessarily bravery. What this looks like to me is exhibitionism. He's made himself re-famous in the last few years by surrounding himself with surgically enhanced women, and now he's going to become one himself in the public eye. I don't know if that's bravery. I do know it's exhibitionism, which is usually a cover for not having anything real interesting going on in your life.
George Michael's not gay. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Go buy that record. It's beautiful.
Oh, I can't bear it.
48 hours ago, I didn't know anything about Sam Smith, but I immediately hated his best song of the year before the end of the first verse. It's immoral, it's infantile, it's just pathetic. And then I watched the official video and noticed that Sam wears earrings, 2 of them, in the shape of the cross. Not that he's a Christian, he just likes the look. He says he wants to be, in his words, iconic. How ironic. I then saw that he shot much of his homosexual snuggle ballad in a church building with a faux gospel choir backing him up. Sam told Rolling Stone magazine, "I believe in God, but I don't know what it is. And if it's a he, she, or anything. All I know is that I feel that there's something else there, end quote. Now, perhaps that's the real appeal of Sam Smith in this generation. He wants to make love with no commitment, make music of no consequence, create a caricature without character, and make God in his own muddled image. Likewise, Bruce Transgender gets lionized for destroying an American icon. They are the antithesis of courage. And frankly, both men need prayer, care, and some genuine love. But it suits the soul-sapping culture corroders to give them platforms, trophies, and fame for shame. For Bill Whittle, Stephen Green, and the entire Trifecta crew at PJTV.com, I'm Scott Ott.